and requests for variances or special permits. We don't have any appeals tonight. So we would just be hearing requests for variances and special permits. How the process works is there's a agenda that's in order of how we call the cases. You'll come up. The city will present the summary of the case to get us familiar with all the work that's been going on up until this meeting. And then we will let the applicant have 5 minutes to give us more information about the application. If needed, you don't have to take the whole 5 minutes. Then we will open it up to interested parties, neighbors, property owners, etc. If they want to speak on behalf of the case, we'll ask them to come up. They each have 3 minutes. We will take a vote. We have one more member coming, so there'll be 4 of us here. You have to get a positive vote of 3 members to proceed. So we usually give an indication of what we're thinking about the case. And so if it gets dicey, we'll explain the process or alternative procedures. But I think that's it. If you plan to speak on the record tonight, just to make this easier for everybody, when you come up, I will ask you, have you been sworn in? And so I would like to swear you all in as a group. If you can please stand, raise your right hand. You promise that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, nothing but the truth. Please say I do. I do. There's also a sign-in sheet here. There's a microphone there. I think it's already on. If you could speak into the microphone, that'll help our court reporter over here get your testimony on the records. And if you can sign your name legibly, that helps us with the spellings of first and last names as well. So I will turn it over to the city to see if we have any preliminary matters.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Started.
We do have 3 preliminary matters.
Okay.
The first 2 are tablings. The first tabling request is case number 5 on tonight's agenda. BZA 23-068. The address is 363 Columbian. Yeah, here.
Is the applicant? Oh, can you come forward, ma'am, please? We don't have 5.
Right, it should be listed on the agenda as
Okay.
tabled.
Okay.
The applicant informed us that the Greater Hilltop Area Commission did not meet this month, so they didn't get a recommendation.
Okay. State your name and whether or not you've been sworn, please.
My name is Ana Medina.
Can you speak into the microphone?
Ana Medina.
Okay. Have you been sworn in? I
Yes.
think I just saw you stand.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are asking to be tabled, postponed?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason, as you acknowledge that's the reason?
Yeah, I have the letter from the Greater Hilltop until the 5th of September.
Okay.
That's when they're gonna do the final.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
They're gonna do the final.
Oh, final vote?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
they approved the first one. But she said there's another one that has to go
Okay,
on the 5th of
Okay.
September.
okay. Is there anybody that's here that was planning on speaking about this case tonight? No. Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to table.
Second. Please call the roll.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Malenko,
Yes.
Chair Paul Bailey.
Yes. Without an extension.
No, I wasn't here to hear it, so I didn't really vote.
Okay.
Good change.
Sorry.
Okay. It's tabled, thank you.
Thank
You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
The second preliminary matter will be also a tabling, case number 8, BZA 23-072 for 4577 Parkwick Drive. They are also tabling for the same reason, Greater Hilltop Area Commission's recess during the office.
Is it here? Is that applicant here? Please go forward. Please state your name for the record and whether or not you were sworn in.
Brian Hartman, yes, I was sworn in.
Okay, and you're requesting a tabling,
Yes,
acknowledging that's the same reason?
yes.
Okay. Was there anybody here that was planning on speaking about this case tonight? Okay, no one, we have a motion?
Motion table.
Second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Malika?
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff?
Yes.
Mayor Palmer Bailey?
Yes, okay, tabled. You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Okay, do I need to sign in?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right, final preliminary matter will be a case we heard back in April, BZA 22-158 for 1025 Oak Street. They're requesting relief from a condition that we had applied in the board order. So back in April, we had committed the applicant to place quote 2 bollards in the south side of the parking spot number 6, which I will hand over the stamped site plan that we will get stamped tonight if this is approved. So parking space number 6 on the corner there of the alley and was it South 21st, I believe, or South 20th Street. The area commission wanted bollards placed on that parking spot. However, after further research from Department of Traffic, as well as the applicant, that request is untenable. Essentially, those bollards would be violating either setback from traffic or would be violating the width required for that parking space. So the city is supportive of relieving them of that requirement.
Okay. Can you state your name or whether you were sworn in?
Michael Gonzalez, yes, I've been sworn in.
So you're requesting us to remove the condition?
Correct. The condition for the
Okay.
bollard specifically. The other conditions will still apply. I can read those off as well. The original conditions that would still apply are that the applicant shall commit to the stamped site plan, which you have there. And fix/clean up the existing asphalt pour over into the rear alley and onto the sidewalk along South 21st Street.
I remember this case.
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to hear from the city or? I mean, do we?
Yep.
Okay,
We're in approval, I mean,
Okay.
we're supportive of it.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do we need to hear from the area commission? Sorry, I asked that wrong.
Well, that was an area commission recommendation that was based on what traffic would say. Traffic said it's not feasible.
So the area commission is fine with that too?
Why? I don't think they can overrule a safety.
Okay, okay. I just didn't know what the procedure
Protocol,
was. Yeah, okay.
Traffic counts.
Okay, anything else to add?
No, that's it. So essentially the bollards are not needed, correct? All other conditions stand.
If the board votes in
Okay.
favor, then yes.
Was anybody here that, was this on the agenda?
No.
Okay, so nobody should be here,
Correct.
just in case. Was anybody here to speak about
Let's check.
No, okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to remove the, what, condition?
Addition requiring bollards.
Second? Second. Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Malika?
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair Palmer Bailey?
Yes, so the condition has been reviewed.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks for your time. Do I need to sign this?
Sign in, yes, please. I signed this.
Oh, you did it again?
Okay, we're gonna get into our regularly scheduled agenda. First case is 2317 West Broad Street. Will the applicant please come forward?
You can leave that pen there, please.
Perfect.
BZA 22-159 for 2317 West Broad Street. It's located in the Greater Hilltop Area Commission, located on the southwest corner of West Broad Street and South Cleveland Avenue. The 0.23 acre site is developed with a parking lot that services a barbershop and a hair studio. Surrounding uses include a used car dealership to the north, a barbershop, hair salon, and vacant parcels to the west, residential to the south, and a neighborhood market to the east. If you remember correctly, this application was in last month for the special permit for the food truck. This month they're in requesting a variance to allow the existing 3-rail fence along West Broad Street and the chain link fence along South Cleveland Avenue to remain. Planning has no comment on the portable building as neither the Hilltop Land Use Plan or C2P2 address this particular matter. Regarding legitimizing the existing fence, staff supports permitting the fence along West Broad Street, but requests the chain link fence along Wheatland Avenue be replaced with 3-rail fence to match the West Broad Street frontage. C2P2 recommends that parking lots be screened from view of the public right of way, but notes that chain link fence is not an appropriate material. If such a replacement is not feasible, then staff would consider support for the inclusion of slats in the existing chain link fence for greater opacity in the spirit of the guidelines. Further, C2P2 recommends street trees be provided in consultation with the city forester. Staff also encourages the applicant to add an additional street tree along Wheatland to enhance the screening. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The Greater Hilltop Area Commission recommends approval of the request. And staff can recommend approval because the compromise and to allow the slats to be installed in the existing chain link fence to provide the required screening, since the requested additional street trees will be installed along South Wheatland Avenue to further screen the parking lot from the right of way.
Okay.
And also, everyone should have a letter in front of them that I received this afternoon from Jason property owner as well.
Okay. Can you state your name and whether or not you were sworn in?
Juliana Severa, I am sworn in.
Okay, can you pull the mic a little bit closer to your mouth? Please, thank you. Do you have something that you want to present to us?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
So, yeah, so I presented the changes. I actually was able to secure 2 of the trees already. And I think there's a green neighborhood event going on, so trying to get the 3rd tree, so let us green. And then put the slats on.
okay, so you're going. So you're going to keep the existing fencing along West Broad, but not on South Wheatland?
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, this is a South Wheatland frontage.
But that's not the existing fence?
It is, the slats will be put into the fence. The colors you're seeing are the slats in the chain fence.
Oh, you're altering the chain link?
Yes.
Oh, got you. Okay, I didn't get that. Thanks for clarifying that. Okay. So how do we make that clear? Because this just says allow the existing fencing to remain, but you don't want it to remain as is.
You could make it a condition that the slats be installed.
Slats installed into chain link fence. for meters. Anything else, ma'am? Okay, how long do you want the portable building to be there?
Portable building's already been approved last month.
Yeah.
That's on there by the board order. This is really just for the variance for the fences.
So we're only taking a vote on 3372.607.
Correct.
Okay, is there anybody here that wants to speak about this application? Okay, if not, do we have any more questions from the board?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Federal did have one concern. It was not clear where that delineation for those slats would be, and we were concerned that that could be a potential obstruction for the site distance at the intersection of Wheatland. So we wanted to just ask for clarification on the site plan of where that would be to verify that that sight line is not obstructed,
Or where the slats would start,
where the slats would start.
as
correct?
far as on the property?
Can you go to the other picture?
So I think, yeah, that right here, the site plan that she had up there, it's not clear how far back. I mean, we can see it from this picture, but we need a dimension on the site plan to show what that distance is, and then to make sure that that does not obstruct the site distance looking to the west.
So we'll add that to the condition to say slats installed into chain link fence on Wheatland. In a position that allows for site clearance, is that how you say it?
Or doesn't prohibit.
It doesn't obstruct site distance.
That does not prohibit Site, what do you call it?
Distance.
Site distance. You're comfortable with that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, do we have, can we call the question on 3372.607B with the condition that slabs will be installed into the chain link fence on Wheatland Avenue?
I guess my only question is, this letter, is anything relevant here to us in this matter? I can't, it doesn't sound like it, but,
Not really regarding fences.
okay. I just-
And the same person presented a similar letter last month with the food truck and said that they have no issues with the food truck. It was more of just other property maintenance issues, kind of.
But we're not even voting on the food truck.
We did it already.
Yeah, she mentions it in the letter, but as I said, it's more of things brought up in the letter are more property maintenance and code violation type things.
Okay.
And that's been explained to the person over the phone.
Okay. Okay, so slabs installed into chain link fence on Woodland Avenue in a position that does not prohibit site distance. Ready for the question? Are we ready?
I'll call the question with the conditions.
Question's been called, let's call the roll.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yeah.
Mr. Malaka,
Yes,
Chair Paul Bailey.
Yes, variance is granted. 4600 International Gateway. Gonna be one person.
4600 International Gateway is located on the south side of International Gateway, approximately 800 feet east of Stelter Road. It is zone M manufacturing. The site is developed with John Glenn International Airport as well as accessory parking facilities. The applicant is proposing an expansion of the red parking lot, which is on the southwest of the main terminal. Variances to reduce the minimum parking space and to not provide parking lot shade trees were approved on 425. The additional variance is for a 10-foot high privacy fence with barbed wire. Planning is in full support of the proposal. Staff continue to encourage decorative fencing as they consistent with plan recommendations, but recognize existing standards and conditions of these standards. Therefore, do not condition the fencing on it being a different material. The Division of Traffic Management had no comments, and staff is recommending approval as the 10-foot fence is necessary for the security of both parking facilities and the airfield, and will allow the airport to build off an existing airfield fence for the parking lot expansion. Basically, the fence, since the fence is over 6 feet in height, we consider it a structure, therefore it's subject to setback requirements.
Okay, can you state your name and whether you were sworn in?
Eric Wolf, and yes, in this point.
What is the, I'm sorry, what is the material of this?
It's just a 10-foot chain link fence with barbed wire. Basically, the existing fence, which you can see in the image, within our limits of work, we're removing all the chain link fence, but we are putting in a new access drive. So there's a section where we kind of have to tie it in that falls within that setback, which is what we're seeking the variance for.
Do we have any questions? Is there anybody here to speak about this application? Okay, there's no questions.
I'll call the question.
Question's been called, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Malaka,
Yes,
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Chair Paul Bailey.
Yes, variance is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. 384 Arcadia Avenue.
BZA 23-065 for 384 Arcadia Avenue. It's located in the University Area Commission. located on the northeast corner of Arcadia Avenue and Glen Echo Drive, zone R3 residential. The 0.16 acre site is developed with a single unit dwelling with a attached garage. Surrounding uses include single unit dwellings to the west, north, and east, and multi-unit residential to the south. The applicant proposes to replace an existing covered porch with a new covered open air porch and is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum required side yard from 5 feet to 3 feet along Arcadia Avenue. Planning is supportive of the request. The University District Plan recommends that front entrances should be enhanced with a porch that's proportional and does not exceed 90% of the width of the building's front facade. The proposal is consistent with this recommendation, therefore planning is supportive of the request. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The University Area Commission recommends approval of this request. And staff can recommend approval of the requested variance because the proposed porch is consistent with the University District Plan and the unique shape of the lot, as well as the orientation of the dwelling, makes this the most logical location for the proposed porch.
Okay, can you state your names when you've been sworn in?
Eric Maxwell, yes, I was sworn in.
Sherry Gunn, yes, I was sworn in.
Okay, the porch is going in the same footprint as the old porch?
Yes.
Any other questions? Is anybody here to speak about this application? No. Do you have anything else to say about the application?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called, please call the roll.
Mr. Maleko?
Yes.
Ms. Nagelhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair Palmgren?
Yes, variance is granted, thank you.
Thank you.
4645 Rhodes Road.
All right. 4645 Groves Road is located on the northwest corner of Groves Road and Eastland Commerce Center Drive. Part of the Greater Southeast Area Commission, and existing zoning is M1 Manufacturing District. The 7-acre site is currently developed with a tow truck facility and impound lot. Surrounding uses include a vehicle storage lot and single unit dwellings to the east, warehouses and logistics offices to the north, similar warehouses and logistics offices to the west, and multi-unit dwellings to the south. The applicant proposes to expand the existing storage area on the site to include 3 storage containers and an open storage located 10 feet from the Eastland Commerce Center Drive right-of-way line. The applicant is thus requesting a variance to reduce the building setback from 25 feet to 10 feet from the right-of-way line, and to reduce the setback for open storage of materials other than junk, waste products, salvage, or wrecked automobiles from 25 feet to 10 feet. The site is subject to approved council variance 21-053, which permitted the impound lot in the M1 district. Staff generally supports these variances, but requests additional screening along Groves Road and Eastland Commerce Center Drive. Columbus Citywide planning policies C2P2 states that loading, storage, and other external activities that face public rights of way should be fully screened. Additionally, C2P2 discourages the use of chain link fencing as a replacement for buffering and screening. As such, staff recommends the applicant explore opportunities to include additional screening in the form of medium to tall shrubs and tall grasses and fencing fabric along Groves Road and Eastland Commerce Center Drive to better align with C2P2 design guidelines. That was, of course, planning's comments. And then the Department of Traffic Management has no comments. Greater Southeast Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Likewise, City Department's recommendation is that of approval. Staff can recommend approval as the surrounding uses, which primarily include warehouses and logistics offices, would not be severely impacted by the proposed variances. While staff does note that the lack of screening that was pointed out by planning, there is ample tree cover separating the residential uses from the site, thus mitigating the deficiency. We do recommend that the following conditions be applied: that any access to a public right-of-way shall be provided a paved apron of 50 feet in length. Chair.
Okay, can you state your name, whether you've been sworn in?
Yeah, Craig Moncrief, attorney for the applicant. I have been sworn in.
Okay, what do you have to add to the application?
So kind of just a unique property here where our client's Eastland Crane and Towing, they own about 50 acres around this property and around this Eastland Commerce Drive. So if you kind of look at a satellite view, Eastland Commerce Drive only serves our clients' properties, especially the area that's currently paved. So it's sort of effectively become a private road. Our client, he runs a tow truck business, so he actually has the equipment. He plows it, he mows it, he takes care of it. In all likelihood, we've requested to actually purchase the land itself since it's basically become a private area. So that's part of the request to reduce the setback since this is, he owns everything around this property. It fits with the area. Our only request for an alternate would be as far as the condition for 50 feet for the access off of Eastland Commerce Drive. I would propose an alternate where we commit to continue to maintain Eastland Commerce Drive as long as it is a public road. Like I said, I think it's going to be private soon anyway. But like I said, he's been taking care of it. It kind of functions as a private road. So we'd be willing to kind of propose that as an alternate.
So you don't have a public access to the two properties from Eastern Commerce, is that what you're saying?
There is an access to Eastland Commerce Drive.
On Eastern Commerce to the two properties that border that street, you're saying nobody from the public accesses that?
Correct, only Eastland Commerce.
Gotcha.
But couldn't somebody, like I'm looking at the apartments where it says Lakeside North and that greenery.
Legally, they could. As you can see, the development currently doesn't. We've worked with the city as far as purchasing the right of way. They haven't had an issue with the paved area. There might have to be some access easements granted as part of that. So they haven't raised any issues with it. We've tried to reach out to them, haven't been able to get in contact, but we're the only one that use it.
So you're asking for a reprieve from the condition that you have a paved apron at 50 feet in length off of Eastern Commerce?
Correct.
Gotcha. Because you're saying nobody from the public is accessing your property from there?
Nobody's using it, and if part of it is we commit to continue to maintain it, that wouldn't be a problem.
I should point out that one of the reasons that we are including the condition for the 50-foot paved apron is there was a previous BZA application, a previous BZA board order back in 2021 that was conditioned upon 50-foot apron. If they do not say for which public right of way, so we have to assume that it's both. And it referenced this site plan. We have a 50-foot apron here off of Groves Road and a 50-foot apron off of Eastland Commerce Center Drive. The applicant was cited by code enforcement for failing to adhere to that condition, and we believe it is because this apron does not exist. So that is why we are including this as a condition that any publicly accessed road shall have a 50-foot apron to satisfy that original board order. Should they acquire that lands that Eastland Commerce Center Drive is on, then they would be, they wouldn't have to have that 50-foot apron. But just in case they do not, we do still require that in that condition so that they are satisfying the board order that's in violation.
So how about we just don't touch that issue with the apron, because that seems like that will still stand even with what we're doing here. So we'll just not address that at all. Because I don't think we have the ability to take it away right now. And I don't want to do anything that seems like we've addressed it, so we'll scratch it as a condition.
Keep the code enforcement
Yeah, it
separate.
will exist as it stood before.
But if you had a code enforcement, if the code enforcement, it sounds like they've cited him. So he's gonna have to do something.
And one of the reasons that this complicates the issue is because the first variance, which is to reduce the building setback from 25 feet to 10 feet. Originally, the setback was 75 feet, and in that 2021 board order, it was approved for a reduction to 25 feet, which is why this request is now from 25 feet to 10 feet. So we have the issue of if they don't satisfy that 50-foot apron requirement with the 2021 board order, then they technically should have a 75-foot setback.
How close are you to acquiring this land?
I mean, we've talked with the city. I'd say it'll be within 3 months. because it's just going through technical review, so it's a matter of kind of, do we have to pave that and then hopefully get the road.
Yeah, I guess I'm not comfortable without the conditions for the reasons
But-
that you guys decided.
But you have, but we're voting on that variance, the setback from 75 to 25 feet. That's on this.
So that was a misprint in the report that was
New one
sent out.
They.
Oh.
The correct was for a 25 to 10. So
Gotcha.
75 to 25 is what would be required, just,
Okay, so
if
it's, so
there
it's
wasn't that 20 to 21, yes.
But that seems appropriate that you would reference the 25 to 10, because if the board order from 2021 still stands,
Correct.
they have a 25-foot setback, and they have a requirement to keep a paved apron of 50 feet. So
Right.
I don't want to touch either one of those things, is what I'm saying.
I see. So the idea that if they are still in violation of the 2021, it just trickles all the way down. The
Yeah.
whole thing
Yeah.
is. That works.
And they need to resolve that, however they're going to resolve it,
Okay.
separate from this issue with the setback going from 25 to 10 and the open storage.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody good with that? Okay, that works. So I have a question about the storage. What are you storing?
So he runs a tow truck business, so it's equipment, inventory, forklifts, things like that.
But it says not red pile of those.
Correct. Yes. This will be just for equipment, things like that. There's a very specific location on the site for impounding.
Okay. So equipment. And am I to understand that this is way back into the property and not outside of the public access?
This would be for the eastern property line.
There, okay. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Does anybody here wants to speak about this application? Okay, so we're gonna call the question on setback from 25 to 10 and reducing the setback distance for open storage from 25 to 10. No conditions.
I'll call the question as stated.
Question's being called, let's call the roll.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Malaka,
Yes.
Chair Pompey.
Yes.
Thank you.
199 East Schrader?
Schreier.
Schreier.
Schreier. Good German name.
Gotcha.
199 East Schreier is located on the south side of East Schreier Place, approximately 220 feet west of Sellers Avenue. It is on R3 residential and is part of the Pleasantville Area Commission. Site is developed with a single unit dwelling. Surrounding uses are primarily single unit dwellings. The applicant proposes to construct a detached garage. Variance is being requested to increase the maximum height of a detached garage from 15 feet to 18 feet. Planning supports the proposal as presented. The Clintonville area plan states that garages should be compatible and similar in character to existing nearby home designs measured in terms of height, width, setback, and lot coverage. Any proposed addition should be placed to the rear or side. The proposal in question meets these guidelines, therefore planning supports the proposal as presented. The Division of Traffic Management had no comments, and the Clintonville Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Staff recommended approval as the proposal meets the guidelines of the Clintonville Area Plan, and as the design is similar in character to the surrounding neighborhoods. The condition we're asking for is that the elevation be stamped to ensure the roof pitch of the garage matches that of the dwelling. Okay.
Can you state your name, what you were sworn in?
Jim Bracken, you swore me in, thank you.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
It's primarily for storage. Currently, the house has an attached garage built in 1937, which is directly underneath the bedroom. So it's actually smaller than a separate garage. There's no attic space. So I'm tired of banging my head on hanging toys And we had a chance, you see, it's a very large yard. There'll be 45 feet behind the garage, big enough for a soccer field, like you see there. And I'll have 250 square feet of storage space in the attic. I don't intend to put any plumbing in there. It will simply be storage, and I will have a 220 20 amp box in the corner to charge the EV.
Okay.
So is it sort of where you have the pavers that your car is currently parked?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, the pavers are gone. I've already moved those. And that's where we park one of the cars. But again, the garage opens from the rear. And so there is if you go back to
You mean the existing garage?
the existing garage opens from the rear. And if you go to the front of the house, you'll see that there's a door, the access door to the garage is on the front porch. You park the car in the garage, you can't open the access door. And the Suburban does not fit in the garage.
So
The garage is 19 by 17 feet.
I'm curious about maneuverability.
Oh, the architect has taken Andy Vogel took the model of a large vehicle and showed how to back it out. There's every bit of 25 feet, 20 feet on the platform.
Okay.
Okay, is there anybody here that wants to speak about this application? Do we have any other questions?
Let me add that, the question from the committee last time was, what was I going to do with the space that I'm vacating? The garage that I'm emptying? That's going to become a mother-in-law suite. I have a disabled sister. It's going to.
I'll call the question.
Question has been called, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Maleko?
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff?
Yes.
Chair Bailey?
Yes, variance is granted.
Thank you very much.
1117 to 1119 Franklin Avenue.
Eleven seventeen to 1119 Franklin Avenue is located on the south side of Franklin Avenue, approximately 3 feet west of South Ohio Avenue. It is zoned ARLD multifamily and is part of the Near East Area Commission. The 0.12 acre site is developed with a 2-unit dwelling. Surrounding uses are a mix of single and multi-unit dwellings. The applicant has constructed a carport that requests a variance to legitimize the reduced side yard from 3 feet to 2 feet 10 inches. Planning supports a proposal. The Near East plan recommends that the size, proportion, and massing of a new building should be compatible with nearby structures and that the building's front and side be similar to those of adjacent buildings. As setbacks are compatible with nearby structure, planning supports the proposal. Planning also notes that the carport is existing and the variances work to legitimize the existing site. Division of Traffic Management has no comments, and the Near East Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Staff also recommend approval as the proposal meets the guidelines of the Near East Area Plan, and the setback is compatible with nearby structure. Madam Chair.
Okay, can you state your name, whether or not you were sworn in?
Xavier Medina, I guess it was sworn in.
Okay. Mr. Medina, do you have anything else to add to the application?
No.
Okay. Do we have anybody here that would like to speak about this application? The board members have any questions?
I'll call the question.
Question has been called, please call the roll.
Mr. Maleko?
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Chair Bailey?
Yes, your variance is granted.
Do I receive anything from my
No, you sign in the form right there. That's it. Thank you. 1365 to 1371 North Fifth Street.
PZA 23-073 for 1365 to 1371 North Fifth Street. Property is located in the University Area Commission and located on the west side of North Fifth Street, approximately 130 feet south of East 8th Avenue, zoned R4 residential district. The two lots have a combined acreage of 0.21 acres and are currently undeveloped. Surrounding uses are all single and multi-unit dwellings. The applicant proposes to develop the existing lots with attached single-unit dwellings, then to split the existing lots in two, leaving one half of a two-story duplex on each of the 4 lots. Variances are being requested to increase the maximum permitted floor area ratio from 0.4 to 0.72, to reduce the minimum lot width from 50 feet to 17 feet, to reduce the minimum lot area from 5,000 square feet to 945 square feet, and to reduce the minimum side yard permitted from 3 feet to 0 feet. Planning is supportive of the request. The proposal is generally consistent with building and site design recommendations of the University District Plan, with the addition of street trees as previously requested. While the FAR is higher than the plan recommendation, the site and building design are compatible with the surrounding area and therefore is supportable. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The University Area Commission recommends approval of this request. And staff can recommend approval of the requested variances because the proposed structure are consistent with the University District's building and site design recommendations. I would also like to note that although the request for area district says that it's a reduction to 945 square feet, they are providing a lot more than that. That's just the way the code is written. That's all we are able to take into account.
Can you state your name, whether you've been sworn in?
Eric Zartman, attorney for the applicant. Yes, I have been.
Okay.
Amir Khan. I don't know what sworn in means. I do. If not.
Oh, okay. Raise your right hand. You promise that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, nothing but the truth. Please state I do.
I do.
Thank you. Now you're sworn in.
Oh, very good.
Okay, do you have anything to add to the application?
Yes, Chair Palmer. Just a heads up, this application is going to be almost identical to the next one on the agenda. So this is a Central Ohio community improvement property, and in cooperation with Simmons Development, they're going to take this vacant property and turn it to a beneficial use for the neighborhood. These are going to be single-family affordable housing options, which we're really excited about. It's a new concept that we think will take off and make a big improvement for the housing in Columbus. It's full support by Wyoming community and the University Area Commission. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Some of the variances concern the splitting of the lot, and the other variances are just pretty much like FAR would be applicable to, would be required for any new build in this neighborhood. So again, happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Is anybody here to speak about this application? Okay, no more questions. Are you ready to call the roll?
I'll call the question.
Question has been called. Call the roll.
Ms. Agarwal?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Malika?
Yes.
Chair Paul Bailey?
Yes, variances are granted. And you're here also for 1380 to 1384 North Fifth Street.
For pretty much the same presentation, BZA 23-074 for 1380 to 1384 North Fifth Street, located in the southeast corner of North Fifth and East 8th Avenue. Also University Area Commission and R4 residential. The two lots have a combined acreage of 0.21 acres and currently undeveloped. Surrounding uses are all single and multi-unit dwellings. The applicant proposes to develop the existing lots with attached single-unit dwellings, then to split the existing lots in two, leaving one half of a two-story duplex on each of the 4 lots. Variances are being requested to increase the maximum floor area ratio from 0.4 to 0.72, to reduce the minimum lot width from 50 feet to 17 feet, to reduce the minimum lot area from 5,000 square feet to 945 square feet, to reduce the minimum side yard permitted from 3 feet to 0 feet, and to reduce the vision clearance triangle at the intersection of East 8th Avenue and the alley from 10 by 10 to 7 by 7 feet to allow for a parking space. Planning is supportive of the request. The proposal is generally consistent with building and site design recommendations of the University District Plan, with the addition of street trees as previously requested. While the floor area ratio is higher than the plan recommendation, the site and building design are compatible with the surrounding area and therefore is supportable. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. University Area Commission recommends approval of this request. And staff can recommend approval of the requested variances because the proposed structures are consistent with the university district's building and site design recommendations.
Okay, so I usually defer to Division of Traffic Management for vision clearance, but I noticed that we have no comments.
Yeah, we looked at this one and the sidewalk is offset from the right of way, so the reduction of the vision clearance triangle doesn't really negatively impact the
Okay.
site at that pedestrian facility.
Okay, thank you. Okay, state your name for the record, since we get this.
Eric Zarman, attorney for the applicant. Leader Khan.
Anything else to add to the application?
I don't have anything to add.
Anybody here to speak about this one? Do you have any questions?
I'll call the question.
President call, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Malongo?
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff?
Yes.
Chair Paul Bailey?
Yes, variance is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3535 on Tansy River Road.
BCA 23-075 to 3535 on Tangy River Road. It's located on the northwest corner of West North Broadway and Old Tangy River Road. It is not located in any area commission and it's on C3 commercial district. The 55.1 acre site is developed with a hospital complex, associated parking garages, and surface lots. Surrounding uses include medical office facilities to the northeast, single unit residential to the north and west, and State Route 315 to the south and east, with more hospital buildings further to the east. The applicant proposes to construct a new hospital building and a parking garage. Variances are requested to increase the maximum permitted height from 35 feet to 180 feet and to reduce the building setback line from 60 feet to 49 feet for the canopy along Old Tangy River Road and to 56 feet for the portion of the building along West North Broadway. And a special permit is requested to allow the expansion of a non-conforming use. This property has been the subject of numerous past variance requests, including a height variance for a parking garage, a variance to increase the height of a new hospital building, a variance to allow graphics in the clear vision triangle, and a special permit to allow a heliport. There's also a council variance to allow the heliport to be relocated. Planning supports the proposal as presented. The Old Tangy West area plan states that new development and redevelopment should be consistent and compatible with land use, density, and pattern of the surrounding area. Consistent level of detailing and finish should be provided for all sides of the building, and new designs should be contemporary interpretations of style found throughout the city. The proposed building in question matches the size, scale, and pattern of the surrounding hospital structures, and therefore the effects of the height variance are minimal. Proposal of requested setback variances are minor in nature, and the building's design and connectivity make it appropriate addition to the corridor. For these reasons, planning supports the proposal as presented. The Division of Traffic Management requests the condition that developers shall be required to implement the required improvements and recommendations find the final approved traffic impact study prepared for the site as approved by the Department of Public Service. There's no area commission or city recognized civic group for this area. Staff can recommend approval of requested variances because the proposed building will be similar in size and scale to the other surrounding hospital buildings, and the requested setback reductions are negligible. And again, traffic requests the condition that the developer shall be required to implement the required improvements and recommendations defined in the final approved traffic impact study prepared for the site as approved by the Department of Public Service.
That's a condition you're recommending?
That was a condition that I received this afternoon.
Okay, say it again, please.
The developer shall be required to implement the required improvements and recommendations defined in the final approved traffic impact study prepared for the site as approved by the Department of Public Service.
Okay, so there hasn't been a traffic study done yet.
It is ongoing.
Track studies. Yeah.
Okay, can you state your names, whether you were sworn in,
Yeah,
please?
Scott North and Doug Scholl for Ohio Health. We've both been sworn in.
Okay. New hospital, new parking garage. What? I'm not sure what we're being shown here. This the garage part, or is this the? It's both, okay.
It's all kind of,
Oh, I see the,
It's all kind of connected and integrated together to the,
okay.
as well as the existing hospital.
Gotcha. Do you have any questions? Is anybody here to speak about this application? I don't have any questions.
I have a comment to just add to this one. There are right-of-way dedications required for our Olentangy River Road frontage, which would be 8 feet from the center line if it doesn't exist currently, and then 50 feet from the center line along the west north Broadway frontage. I don't think that we anticipated that to impact this at all, but I just want to make a note that those will be required with the site compliance for this week.
It won't, but we're prepared to commit that right away
Okay.
if need be.
Well, we won't address that here, you'll just know that for your next step. Okay, so the only condition I have is to implement the recommendations that come out of the final approved traffic impact study. Are you okay with that? Okay. Are we ready to call the question with the condition?
Call the question with the condition.
Mr. Wall, Mr. Blanco,
Yes.
Ms. Eaglehall,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yeah,
Mayor Palmer.
Yes. Variance is granted.
Thank you. We are also requesting a special permit. Is that covered by, there are two variances and a.
Oh, yes,
special
you're right.
permit.
Special permit is
Has it all
granted.
been
Yes,
part of this vote?
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. 1600 Polaris Parkway.
BZA 23-080 for 1600 Blair's Parkway. It's located in the far north Columbus Communities Coalition. It's located on the north side of Blair's Parkway, approximately 315 feet east of Thyra Drive. And it's zoned LC4, limited commercial districts. The 1.5 acre site is currently undeveloped. Surrounding uses include a hotel to the north, eating and drinking establishments to the west and south, and Interstate 70, I-71 to the east. The applicant proposes to construct a new credit union with drive-through ATMs and is requesting a variance to increase the maximum number of parking spaces from 10 to 15. Planning is in full support of the proposed landscape plan and bicycle parking as they are consistent with the far north area plan design guidelines. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The Far North Communities Coalition recommend approval of this request, and staff can recommend approval of the requested variance because the applicants provided the requested increase in bicycle parking and the proposed landscape plan is consistent with Far North area plan design guidelines.
Right. Can you say your name, whether you were sworn in?
Jennifer Cahill with Burton Partners Architects. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we don't ever see people asking for more parking spaces.
Rarely.
Anything you want to add to the application?
No, Right Pet Credit Union has a lot of other branches in the area, and so based on that, they can anticipate their need for some additional parking here.
Okay. And I think I saw there's plans for,
That's correct.
Screen.
yeah, screening and drive-through. Okay, is anybody here to speak about this application? Board members, do we have any other questions?
Call the question.
Questions been called, please call the roll.
Ms. Eaglehall,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
yes.
Mr. Malika,
Yes.
Chair Palmer.
Yes, variance granted. Okay. 94 North 21st Street. Time tonight.
That's the best me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Taking a year.
Right.
maybe two.
All right, 94 North 21st Street is located on the east side of North 21st Street, approximately 225 feet south of East Long Street. It is part of the Near East Area Commission, and the existing zoning is R2F residential district. The 0.09 acre site is currently developed with a single unit dwelling. Surrounding uses include a mix of single unit and multi-unit dwellings to the north, south, east, and west, as well as 2 churches to the east and south. The applicant proposes to convert an existing attic into a 3rd floor living space. The increase in height as a result of this proposal necessitates a variance to reduce the minimum side yards from 5 feet 6 inches to 1 foot 6 inches on the north side and 5 feet on the south side of the dwelling, and to reduce the side yard for a deck/pergola to 0 feet. Planning is supportive of the proposal. The Near East Area Plan recommends new construction should be compatible with the neighborhood and similar in height to surrounding structures. Staff notes the proposal is consistent with plan design guidelines and therefore are supportive of the proposal. Department of Traffic Management has no comments, and the Near East Area Commission recommends approval of this request. The City Department's recommendation is likewise that of approval. Staff can recommend approval as the proposed variances would not be out of character with the surrounding area in terms of massing and density. Chairman.
State your names, please, whether you've been sworn in.
Diana Azarian,
Hiro Minami.
we were not sworn in.
Okay, can you both raise your hands? You promise that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, nothing but the truth. Please state I do.
I
I
do.
do.
Okay. Go ahead with your explanation. Or anything you want to add to that reason?
No, I don't think that.
No, I think we are okay.
Okay. So it wasn't clear on why an attic would require changes to side yard.
So it's to do with the height, since the height of the building is changing, that is what is necessitating, the change in the side yards. It has to do with the, as a building, is raised in terms of its height, we require wider side yards.
Oh, geez, okay,
Over a certain height, it should be in the middle.
It's, should be, third
Okay.
bullet down
okay.
is the code section.
So they're not changing anything in the side yard, it's just the requirements have changed on that way. Okay. Anybody here to speak about this application? Any questions from the board? Or you call the question?
I'll call the question.
Question's been called, please call the roll.
Mr. Jones,
Yeah.
Mr. Malika,
Yes.
Ms. Egelhoff,
Yes.
Chair Plummer Bailey.
Yes, variance granted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay, 5455 Cottage Street.
All right. 55 Cottage Street is located on the west side of Cottage Street, approximately 250 feet south of Walnut View Boulevard. It is part of Northland Community Council. An existing zoning is R1 residential district. The 0.11 acre site is currently developed with a single unit dwelling. Surrounding uses include similar single unit dwellings to the north, south, east, and west. The applicant proposes to convert a detached garage to an attached garage with above living space and is requesting variances to reduce total side yards from 20% or 16 feet to 15% or 12 feet. Reduce the minimum side yard from 5 feet to 4 feet and reduce the required rear yard from 25% to 15%. Planning supports the proposal. The Northland Plan, Volume 2 encourages that any infill development be compatible with surrounding land uses and refers to Northland development standards, which recommend that structural development be 35 feet in height or less and that lot coverage not exceed 80%. As the proposal is consistent with surrounding low-density residential land uses and consistent with the applicable design guidelines, planning supports this proposal. Department of Traffic Management has no comments. And the Northland Community Council recommends approval of this request. State Department's recommendation is likewise that of approval. Staff can recommend approval as the requested variances are necessitated by the peculiar shape and limited depth of the lot in question. Chair.
Can you state your name, whether or not you're sworn in?
I'm Stephen A. Fountain, architect, and I was sworn in.
Okay. Do you have anything to add about the application?
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that the Gould Park subdivision was platted in 1927. And the average size of the lots is 40 by 60. So there's not a lot of room to do much on some of those properties. And the only recourse is to get a waiver on the side yard, rear yard, and total side yard.
Do you have any questions? Okay. Do we have anybody here that wants to speak about this application? Please come forward, sir. Please state your name, whether or not you were sworn in.
My name is David Paul. I have not been sworn.
Okay, you promise that the testimony you give tonight be the truth, nothing but the truth. Please state I do.
I do.
Okay, go ahead with the testimony.
Thank you. My name again is Dave Paul. I'm co-chair of the Northland Community Council Development Committee. Just wanted to state for the record that we met with Mr. Fountain on June 28th this year to discuss this application. We discussed the specific variances that are being requested here, and there was also some discussion of the garage because of the attachment that's occurring between the what was formerly detached garage and now the house. The committee was satisfied that the applicant has met, in effect, our standard anyway to request this variance. And so our committee did vote 15-0 to support this application and recommend its approval.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else here to speak about this application? No? Okay, do we have any other questions for the applicant?
I'll call the question.
Questions being called, please call the roll.
Mr. Maleko?
Yes.
Ms. Sagelhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Jones? Yes. Mayor Von Bailey?
Yes, variance granted. Thank you. Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Yes.
$30
Can you give me $30 now.